Perhaps you've seen it. Maybe in a dream. A murky, forgotten land.
Hello there, Seraphim17 once again. This is my first session in the Brotherhood of Blood Arena, and these are, you know, the repercussions of the event. So, a little footnote on this session, guys. There's only probably going to be 2 parts to it. It's going to be a little bit shorter than my usual stuff. Because after this, when I realised that the Marakumo, just combined with the lag and things, wasn't really doing what I wanted it to do, I decided to change weapons. And I'm going to do a separate sequence of videos for the weapons that I changed to, because it was quite a long session and I want to try and keep it as focused as I can. So this is essentially my first time in the arena, and I'm using the Marakumo. My build is the same you've seen so far. It's like a 180 odd level build, and yeah, watch out for that. Roll Backstab's very powerful in this game. Guess I should have assumed he was going to do that when he didn't have any weapons on, because whenever you see somebody who's using their fists, they're never there to punch you. Trust me, guys, they're always there to stab you in the back, because Backstabs on this game are incredibly powerful. The reason there is no Hornet in this game is because of this. You literally do not need a Hornet. Your attacks do so much damage. It's pretty insane, really. I didn't kill that guy, which tells you that I'm doing something wrong. Because pretty much, if you're not one-shotting with your backstabs on this game, you're not doing it right. And it doesn't matter what armor they're wearing, guys, trust me. Backstabs, when done correctly, are incredibly powerful. And I'm not even talking about those phantom ones that Brandon mentioned in that video, which I have hit and miss detection with that. You know, sometimes you do it, sometimes you don't. And if you do it, you get like an extra 700 to 1,000 damage. So I'm hoping that FromSoft patches that, because it's just stupid. But I'm using the Forbidden Sun. A lot of people are asking me where I get that from. You get it, I believe, from doing the Navlan quest. And another interesting thing as well, everybody runs upstairs at the beginning of these fights, and I don't know why. Like, I don't know if there's some agreed etiquette of everybody going upstairs, bowing at each other, and then fighting. Well, I want nothing to do with that shit, so every single time I run straight through the middle, come up the stairs behind them, because 10 to 1, they have no idea where you are, and if I was truly evil, I could go and backstab them, but I don't really do that too much. Instead, I'll either wait for them to turn around, or I'll just throw spells or hit them. And yeah, there you go. That was a fun one. And a couple of things to note. The arenas are random, and this one right here is the worst arena in the game. I can't even tell you how much I hate this arena. If this arena was a person, I would have it euthanized. I truly would. I would have it euthanized, burned and buried, and it would be sin punishable by death, by stoning, if you ever invoked or you heard its name ever again, because it's just utter dog shit. Because all this bridge does is advocate spell spamming, super powerful weapon stun locking, and anyone who has a fast build that rolls or evades, if you stack a second roll by accident because you're trying to roll so badly, you're going to roll off the damn edge. It's just, wow. Exactly, it's just like that, you know, it makes no sense. This right here is my favourite one. I really like this one. I like everything about it. I like the multiple tiers. You know, there's not any place to hide because you can always tell where people are. And it doesn't make any sense because in Ulasil, you could choose which battleground you went on by literally going to the altar. On this game, it alternates wherever you fight, and I hate that lack of control. You know, I think if they'd have just done what they did in Dark Souls, it would have been perfect. Because my second gripe with the arena is the healing, which I don't even have an Estus Flask on, or any kind of subsidiary of the Estus Flask, because I do not heal. I will not heal. And unfortunately everybody else does not follow that, which is fine. You know, I expect it, because it's exactly what's going to happen. And I just don't understand how you can heal in the arena, which is a competitive environment of, you know, the Brotherhood coming together to have some sparring matches and train, yet in an invasion when you really need the life, you can't heal unless you're using a miracle or warmth, which it seems stupid when they allow phantoms to flask. Like, this game is so anti-ganky, so anti-gank hunting, it's unreal. Like, all those people you used to enjoy watching, you know, do 3v1s, if they do not have an AoE spell or some, you know, something of that equivalent in a weapon form, they will die. The only possible hope for salvation or not dying involves using the Old Sun Ring and the Ring of Thorns, is it? The counter-attack ring. And those two rings are both indicative of skill, obviously. They have nothing to do with luck, and thus will make for some very interesting I just got stun locked yet everyone else died moments in videos. So I'll leave you to make your own mind up with that. This guy bowed, so because I still have a bit of that honour in me, I'm like, come on dude, we're here to fight, not bow. You've just buffed a giant sword, use it, kill me. And he will, because those swords hurt so bad. And this guy I should guard break this dude, but I've had a lot of weird detection on the guard break, so it's not my first thing to really do. Instead, I just take a massive hit there from a one-handed, whatever the hell he's using. But this is all taken from the first day of PvPing, guys, so if there's anything you've mentioned in the previous comments, hooray for random facing the wrong way yet still firing a spell, kind of where I wanted it to be. Pyromancy there. But anybody who said, you know, do this, play like this, do this instead of this, it doesn't really make a difference. I didn't have that feedback at the time, guys, because this was all the same session. So I'm going to play like a new player because I am a new player. It's just how it is. But the arena, the easiest way to sum it up, everybody is buffing, everybody is healing, everybody is stacking heavy armor with magic. You know, every so often you'll come up against somebody who's playing it a little bit more, you know, to have fun, like myself, like a few others that I ran into. I ran into, I think, a subscriber who was, you know, pretty low armored, using a big sword, and you know, playing really fun and using good tactics. It's just, who needs tactics when you've got phantom range like every fucking hit the katanas seem to have, or when the lag is so severe. Like this one actually doesn't look too bad. The connection right there was one of the better ones so far, but still completely horrible for most. But I'm not going to bang on this game because I don't think it's a bad game. I've been watching a lot of Martyrs Brigade's videos, and he's having a lot of difficulty with the PvP as far as how the hell does this game get made after the two previous ones. And I can't disagree with anything he's said. Everything he's said in his videos, except for the bonus you get from right-handing a weapon as opposed to left-handing. I'm sorry guys, but even the official guide says that you get no bonus depending on what hand you wield a weapon is, and when I tested it out, I got 0 bonus from being in my right hand. So the people who told him that, and then he went and did a video, you know, using that information, I just don't think that's valid information. I think that's a wives' tale. I'd love to be pointed to a video where it's been calculated and shown to be fact, but I think that's an old stead from Dark Souls that doesn't make it into this one. Because a lot of people are playing this like Dark Souls and it isn't. You know, it's the sequel, and we need to get our heads around that. But as I was saying, I can't disagree with anything that he says, really, because a lot of it is very valid. But at the same time, it's different and it's unique because of those differences, and I think there's a novelty and there's definitely something interesting to that. This is another person who doesn't really understand that not everybody runs into the middle part, which I just don't understand. I think he's trying to do... Oh, never mind, it hits me anyway. Oh, I remember this. Yeah, look at that. Beast mode. But the arena's connection does settle down for me on my bad internet. But it's only around past 12 o'clock at night. I don't know why. Like, I can take region play and put it on so I can have it across the seas, and I still get really, really good connections in the grand scheme of things. It's probably not really good, you know, compared to a good connection, but it's enough for me to enjoy myself and not get really frustrated. So this arena here is kind of a fun one. The only problem is because there's all these archers and there's all these support pieces of concrete, it advocates running away a lot. And there's a lot of people, for obvious reasons, who really want to win. And they run away, they womp you through the wall, they do the soul sword through the wall, they heal, they do a lot of stuff. And punishing a heal with a backstab is kind of pointless in this game, in my opinion, unless you're in the perfect position to do it. In my experience, what happens is it's much easier to stop the heal by just attacking them normally and then maybe getting them in a bit of a stun lock than it will ever be to do the backstab, because by the time you've got behind them, they've already healed almost full and they're probably going to do some big old damage to you. But this is a guy called Fisto the Defiler, and as you can tell, he's using a really big weapon, and the way he plays tells me that he's not a new person to Dark Souls. He has a good understanding of spacing. He's got a good understanding of evades. He was playing generally a much higher level game than some of the people I was fighting, because you'll notice he's not putting a million buffs on every giant sword and then phantom hitting from a million miles away. He's counter-rolling, he's waiting to see what I'm doing. It's the signs of somebody who knows what they're doing, but there is lag between us, and it's going to make even the best player on the game have a really tough day. But probably one of the best matches from the session, just because it's a little bit more interesting to watch. And I managed to catch him with Backstab there and get the win. But the arena, I don't understand it, folks. I just don't. You get a cracked eye orb for winning and no souls, and you're fighting against people in your covenant, so essentially you're all trying to get the same goal, yet it doesn't incentivize winning at all, because a single cracked orb is a little bit weak compared to the souls you get from invading. And even then, the souls you get from invading is really weak compared to Dark Souls, so it's one of those things where I think there needs to be some tweaks. And I've mentioned in another video, I don't know if you've seen it yet, and I don't know if it's even been published yet, but I think both players should get a cracked orb, regardless of if they win or lose, and the winner should get souls, because it'd just make it a lot more helpful. It just, as it stands, it's really nice because it's often constant PvP, but at the same time, you're going to run into people that are running builds that aren't very fun to fight, because any competitive environment breeds that kind of mentality of people coming to crush. And if you like that, you're going to have a ton of fun, because the amount of people you're going to face just rocking some of the best stuff you can in the game is chronic. But if you're looking for interesting fights, I don't think the arena's the place for you. So just be warned, is what I'll say. There's probably going to be a part 2 to this, but I want to get this up as quick as I can, just to have a little bit more PvP on the channel, because it seems to be going down a treat as everybody's sharing their feelings and their frustrations with what is a very new and very different experience of Dark Souls. So thanks for watching, and you take care now.